Have you seen Star Wars?
Star Wars fans have been speculating for the past month or so on who will be playing a live-action version of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Some people have been wanting Robert Downey Jr., others have been saying Benedict Cumberbatch. That's been the one that's been pretty prominent for the past few years. But now we have the official confirmation. Okay, no, not official, but we have some confirmation. We have an exclusive by the people over there at Small Screen in the UK, and they say Lars Mikkelsen has signed on to play Thrawn in the Ahsoka Tano series, and they're saying that this has been in the works for a few months. I think in September of 2020 they came out with a report saying that he was in talks for this, but now it has been confirmed by them that he is going to be playing Thrawn in the Ahsoka Tano series, and this shouldn't be a big surprise. This may surprise some people. I don't think it's surprising. I think he was my pick personally out of all the options that were there, because he played the voice in Rebels, and it would feel very weird to have someone else come in and play Thrawn and then now use a different voice. Now maybe the posture would be better with someone else, maybe someone could do it better, but he's already done the voice, and I think the voice was pretty perfect in Rebels, so it would make sense to bring him into live action and just fulfill that role that he's already been playing. And an interesting note on this too is apparently there was no other actor that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau specifically wanted. They have the article here that says, "I've been told by sources close to Lucasfilm that Lars Mikkelsen was the only one they wanted for this role, and it looks like they got their man." And here's what these sources specifically said to these guys. One source says, "It's all done. I can confirm that Lars Mikkelsen will be playing Thrawn in live action in the Ahsoka series. The deal might also include other Star Wars live action shows beyond Ahsoka. I'll let you know." And so they reached out to another source, and here's what they had to say. "Dave Filoni's been very keen on getting Lars to play Thrawn in live action. He was his only real choice for the role. It does look like he's signed on to play the Rebels character he voiced in the animated show. It also seems as though Lars will be playing Thrawn in other Star Wars live action shows as well, not just Ahsoka." Now, this really leads credence to what we've been saying for a little bit now, that Rangers of the New Republic, the Ahsoka Tano series, and the Boba Fett series, or Book of Boba Fett, plus The Mandalorian, are all going to be connected in some major overarching story, and Thrawn is going to be the main villain. If you remember when Cara Dune talked to the New Republic Ranger, I guess is what you would call him, in Mandalorian Season 2, he specifically said, there's something going on out there. He was kind of teasing that there's, some greater threat and whatnot that could be Thrawn. And the last time we saw Thrawn was with Ezra, when he went into hyperspace with him into the unknown regions, and in the Ahsoka Tano episode for Mandalorian Season 2 called The Jedi, she specifically asked Thrawn's subordinate, student, whatever you want to call her, where is Thrawn? She was curious where he was because she's trying to find him in order to find Ezra. So I think us seeing Thrawn in the Ahsoka series means, of course, she finds him. She goes to the unknown regions and she finds him. It's not clear on if Rebels season finale, the one where you see Sabine and Ahsoka team up, it's not clear if that is going to be before or after the Mandalorian episode we saw Ahsoka in, but I don't think that really matters anymore. I don't think that's the point at all. I think we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff in the Ahsoka series that really just follows what we were doing in Rebels. We talked about this last week, how the Ahsoka series is going to have Sabine Wren show up. We also talked about how apparently it is going to be the Rebels successor. They were making an animated Rebels sequel, and I'd assume Lars Mikkelsen was going to play, his role as Thrawn in that if they would have found him. But now all of that's being adapted into the Ahsoka series, and that's why we're going to see a live-action Thrawn. And I think this is good. One thing that those guys reported, Kessel Run Transmissions, when it came to the Ahsoka Tano series, is that there's been a lot of talks on having The Mandalorian and like that story and all the series that are involved with that go into the mid-2020s and be a potential film, like a feature film that could come out in theaters. I think that this could be a way that we lead into the Heir to the Empire story and conclude that in a live-action Star Wars movie when we go back to the box office, when we go back to actually seeing movie theaters, which we probably will be, I hope, doing in the mid-2020s. I think this is good news. I think it's good news that we actually have confirmation on who it is. Now, like I said earlier, it's not confirmed by Lucasfilm, but I do trust small screen right now. They haven't reported anything that makes me doubt them right now, and they also talked about this in September of 2020, so it's not out of the blue. So I think this is a credible report, I think this is real, and I think it really builds the excitement on where we're going with Star Wars in terms of storytelling, because maybe, just maybe, if we find Thrawn in the Ahsoka series, we're also going to find Ezra, and I really wonder what Thrawn's ace up the sleeve is going to be. Is it going to be just the Empire? Is it really going to be Heir to the Empire, where he is just back, he's in control of the Empire now, he's the one in charge of everything? Or is it the route I kind of hope they're going, and are we going to see him show up with the Chiss Ascendancy? I really wonder how they're going to play the Chiss Ascendancy into the entire overall arc of the Star Wars story, mainly this timeline with The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and Rangers of the New Republic, because in the books, you know, they take place, the ones that are kind of like the prequel to the Thrawn books in the original trilogy era, they take place between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, so it's during the Clone Wars, and the Chiss Ascendancy is dealing with their own unknown regions problem. And we're only one book into that series right now. There's a second one coming out this year, and I think a third coming out in 2022. So maybe when we finish that story, we will kind of get a hint on what's going on in the unknown regions that requires Thrawn's attention. We may find out that Thrawn shows up, and he actually teams up with someone like Ahsoka. He teams up with the New Republic and says, you know, I have this big ascendancy, I know we seem like a threat, but truth be told, there's something else greater out there that we have to worry about, and that could lead to the Yuuzhan Vong. But the problem with all of this is, and I hate to say it, the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy takes place 25 years later after where we're at in the Mandalorian show right now, and that timeline. So I'm a little nervous that maybe that won't let us explore too much when it comes to the unknown regions, or maybe hear me out here, maybe it actually isn't that limiting. Maybe we're actually not going to focus on the New Republic and Thrawn. Maybe Ahsoka finds Thrawn and she deals with Chiss Ascendancy, and she actually works with them to find Ezra, to deal with the unknown regions. Maybe that's what her and Ezra do. They team up with Thrawn to take out this unknown threat. Or maybe they try to take down the Chiss Ascendancy themselves, because, you know, the Chiss Ascendancy is the biggest threat to the New Republic, if not for the Empire. I mean, the Empire is in shambles, the Empire is kind of on the run, it's not in a good state, the New Republic is on the rise, but still not perfect. But imagine if they had to deal with a really big threat called the Chiss Ascendancy, who has, you know, been ruling the unknown regions for a very long time. They call it the chaos out there. I don't think the New Republic would last long. So I don't see the Chiss going after the New Republic, and if they do, it seems like they would win, but of course we know they don't because of the sequel trilogy. So there's a lot of options that we have in storytelling, and I think it's great to have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni being the guys who are in charge of this. I hope Jon Favreau is writing some of the story with this, and Dave Filoni as well, when it comes to the Ahsoka series. I know both of them are executive producers. Jon Favreau serves as the executive producer, but Dave Filoni is writing and directing the Ahsoka Tano series, and then Robert Rodriguez is doing the Boba Fett series. I don't know what about the Rangers of the New Republic, other than that both of those guys are executive producers. So it seems like these guys have their own overarching story that deals with the timeline between episodes 6 and 7, and I like that, because we're not letting it get muddied up with too many people, and it just seems like a good route to go. So tell me your thoughts below. What do you guys think about Lars Mikkelsen being casted as a live-action Thrawn? Do you like this casting, and what do you think the story of the Ahsoka Tano series is going to be when Thrawn shows up, and what are we going to deal with when it comes out? Tell me your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help out the channel. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.